Hello, and welcome. So happy Friday, y'alls. It is Friday, right? Yeah. I just got my water. I just got my microphone set up. Let me take a sip of this. Let's see. Are we all connected in? Are the vocals, are the, yeah, I think that it seems the sound is on. Okay. Oh man. I love this tea. It's so good. It's pomegranate green tea. Yum. So yeah, I did a little shifting today and we'll see how it goes because we'll just see how it goes, right? It's going now. Mm. So I've been reading all morning and I've decided to single into Sacred Geometry and Magical Symbols by Iva Kenaz. So let's just dig right in. Acknowledgements. I would like to thank my mom, Ivana Axman, and my friend, Eric Captain, who both contributed most of the wonderful illustrations, and many thanks to my life partner, Gunnar, for helping me with the cover art as always. Thank you all for supporting me on my path. I appreciate your help from the bottom of my heart. Introduction. What is sacred geometry and how does it relate to magical symbols? 10 years ago, when I became fascinated with sacred geometry and its connection to everything in the world, one of my more critical friends asked me, but how does it relate to practical life? This book is an answer to her question. Like everything else, all symbols originated in geometric shapes that came to be long before our existence. You know what? I'm going to put these glasses on. It'll just make the letters bigger. I'm going to clean them too. Super prepared as usual. Oh, boy. I just got to get another sip of that delicious tea, dude. Ooh. Sacred geometry explores the philosophy behind the geometrical patterns of the planet and the universe. It's as old as life itself. Throughout antiquity, the earliest civilizations applied the geometrical patterns of creation to philosophies, religions, and subsequently to architecture and the arts. Geometry always went hand in hand with magical symbols, which were used for protection, healing, manifestation, and spiritual growth. The complete potential of sacred geometry and magical symbols is known only to the initiated, but some important bits and pieces can be resolved when we study their origin and connect with their wisdom. The clearest association between geometry, symbols, and sacred teachings come from ancient Greece. The Pythagorean school was based on sacred geometry, and Pythagoras himself studied it in Egypt. Pythagoras was a remarkable scientist, astronomer, and mathematician who also practiced divination and number magic. Some ancient records say that he remembered his previous incarnations and believed that during one of them, he was born as the son of the Greek god Hermes. Pythagoras was also the father of the so-called harmony of spheres, the idea that the heavenly bodies move in mathematical equations and create symphonies which are too fine for our hearing. Like Pythagoras, the famous philosopher Plato also venerated geometry and had the following line inscribed above the entrance to his academy: "Those ignorant of geometry shall not enter my doors." Some may argue that symbols are only decorative signs and that they have no deeper meaning than that which we assign to them. This may be true to many people, but to those who can read them, the symbols may open the doors to a universal language that speaks straight to the subconscious. Like alphabets, symbols can be beneficial to those who know how to work with them. The power of symbols lies in the fact that everything around us is made from their original geometric shapes. Even if a magician charges each symbol with a desired intent, the innate meaning of that shape remains changeless. When we work with magical symbols on a regular basis, we may come to realize that their various egregors are so concentrated that just thinking of them is enough to bring about their magical powers. Egregors. That's like it's like what brings it about, right? Egregors, aggressive. Like, hey, Prelly, welcome, man. Let's look it up though. Egregors. Oh yeah, I'm relearning how to type with nails. My sister just did my nails. Oh my gosh, I'll show them to you all. They're so amazing. Oh, this is going to be different for sharing. Oh, you can barely see in this lighting that they are, oh, they're just brilliant. They change all kinds of colors. Okay, show and tell. Egregors, right. Egregors. Oh my gosh, I'm just typing randomly into nothingness. Let's get to the page, eh? Super duper doo. No, not that. And not that. I think I need a new one. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Egregors. Meaning. Also spelled egregor. Okay. Egregor from French, egregore or egregor. Or I'm not exactly sure. From ancient Greek, egregoros, wakeful, is an occult concept representing a distant non-physical entity that arises from a collective group of people. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's just say definition after this so I can use the same page for the rest of the reading. Definition. Dude, here we go. Is an occult concept representing the distant, non-physical entity that arises from a collective group of people. Okay. It's like the demiurge. Well, kind of, but well, it's like anything that we put energy into. Ooh, excuse me. That's awesome. Okay. The YouTubes. Hey, Sass, welcome, man. Okay, so yeah, their various egregores are so concentrated that just thinking of them is enough to bring about their magical powers. In magic, symbols usually accompany prayers, rituals, and communication with our inner self and spirit guides, or become the simplified images of such practices. Their energy manifests instantly. For example, instead of performing a ritual of protection against negative energy, you can simply imagine a shield symbol and you're safe. In this book, I focus on the powerful relationship between sacred geometry and magical symbols. I draw information from ancient and modern magic, but also from my own life experience. I hope that reading it will offer you a simple, practical guide for your own magical journey. Circle, what it represents. In sacred geometry, the circle is the basic shape from which all the other figures derive, thereby representing wholeness and the unity of life. One can observe circular patterns everywhere in nature, in the microscopic and macroscopic worlds. They are around, within, and without us. Whether you look at the shapes or behavior of atoms, molecules, and cells, the spiraling growth patterns of plants, or the spinning movements of the sun, planets, moons, and stars. The central point of the circle could be compared to the seed of creation. This central point is the source of the circle and all other geometric shapes. Just like in the natural world, where the seed is the source of all the genetic information needed for the development of various life forms. So there's a picture here of an atom, and then it shows a pentagon, a hexagon, and an octagon derived from the circle. Okay, so let's get into the focus portion here. Woo! And figure out how I can share this with you. There we go. Boop-a-doo. All right. Hey, welcome, William. While I'm paused. The spinning of a circle is smooth. The spinning of the circle is a smooth, flowing motion, and that is why it has been associated with progress and evolution. In sacred geometry, curvy shapes are recognized as feminine, while straight lines are masculine. This is reflected in body shapes because a woman's body is overall shapelier than a man's. In magic, the circle embodies the unity of consciousness, creativity, and manifestation, and has been connected to the sacred wells of ancient mythologies. The Celts considered wells symbolic for wisdom and knowledge, but they also believed that they concealed gateways into other worlds. The veneration of holy wells was later adopted by early Christians and has been preserved until today. In Norse mythology, there were 3 wells and 3 main roots at the bottom of the tree of life. One was where the 3 giantesses called Norns dwelled. One belonged to the realm of mists, and the third was the one to which Odin sacrificed his eye in order to retrieve its wisdom, or receive its wisdom. Since the circle is the most harmonious of all the shapes, it also symbolizes regeneration and the healing powers of nature. Throughout the history of magic, it has also been recognized as the most crucial protective symbol. Due to its all-encompassing quality, it has been used to encircle other symbols such as crosses, triangles, or stars, and thus enhance their power. How and when to work with it. If you keep seeing circle symbol or feel attracted to them, you may be receiving a sign regarding your current life's purpose and mission. Perhaps you are about to realize something or receive an encouragement to keep on walking your own unique path. The circle also guides you to work with the vital energy of the earth. It advises you not to struggle against the twists and turns of life's circles, but rather follow their natural flow. This symbol may also be delivering another important message, which is that you need to shield yourself from negative thought patterns or situations. It may prompt you to establish inner and subsequently outer harmony. The best ways to connect with the energy of the circle are the circle-based or easy-flowing exercises such as Qigong, Tai Chi, belly dancing, or swimming. Such exercises are not only healing and vitalizing, but also help us embrace the harmony of life within and around us. The circle has the power to enclose you in your own energy field, blocking all uninvited outer influences. Magicians cast circles of protection either by imagining, drawing, or creating them using meaningful objects such as stones, crystals, branches, or candles. The intention behind the usage of each magical symbol is crucial, though so it helps to accompany the circle shielding ritual with incantations or protective prayers. Magicians also usually perform rituals under the protection of the circle. However, one needs to understand that its shielding power may block even beneficial energies. Therefore, the magician first has to decide who or what they wish to stave off so that their spirit guides and guardians are still able to provide help. The circle can also help us heal on a spiritual level because it sets into motion whatever has been allowed to stagnate, including our deepest feelings and issues. Once brought to light, the unconscious, shadowy aspects of our psyche may start a healing process in our own conscious minds. To put it simply, the circle helps you bring a focus to the center of the problem and then heal it as a whole. Ooh, hey Jenny, welcome. Welcome in. So, derived symbols. The spiral. I've been obsessed with spirals from my adolescence. I just doodle them for hours. So I'm gonna show you what it is. I'm not gonna do the whole zoom a doom because it's a spiral. It's a couple of them. Spiral symbols have been found all over the world since the Neolithic period. The spiraling shapes emphasize the smooth movement of the circle and therefore represent progress, growth, and changes. The right turning spiral is that the difference? One of these is right turning and one is left turning. The right turning spiral is connected to conscious, active energy and outer work, while the left turning spiral relates to unconscious, passive energy and inner work. Ooh. Yeah, because left is when the left side, the energy comes in, the right side, the energy goes out. That makes a whole lot of sense. Some magicians consider the left turning spiral as negative, but that may be due to ancient patriarchal manipulations because the left side is connected to feminine powers and the right side to masculine ones. The left side also stands for past influences and the right side for future ones. Oh, that relates to palmistry too. There's a picture of a shell up here, and then over here we've got a picture of a serpent eating its tail. Classic circle symbolism. Ah! How do I share this with you? The circle and the spiral unite in the pattern and evolution of nature. The circle could be considered the original pattern and the spiral its evolution. This philosophy is repeated further on in the more complicated figures. The asymmetrical symbols embody ceaselessness and eternity, and the symmetrical ones, the changeless patterns of creation. The ceaseless movement of the spiral has been recognized in sacred geometry as the so called golden ratio. This magnificent ratio can be observed all around us and is the key to how nature inherently manifests life. See the Pentagon and Pentagram chapter for more information. The serpent. Throughout history, the serpent has been associated with the circle or circle derived symbols. It has often been depicted coiled around a ring, a sphere, or an egg. Two various ancient cultures, the serpent was a symbol of the vital and healing energy of the earth. This was mainly due to the serpent's ability to revitalize and its connectedness with the ground. However, it was also regarded as a symbol of the universe and its cycles, and therefore, oh, let's try that again. However, it was also regarded as a symbol of the universe and its cycles, and therefore, we could say that serpent symbolism connects the earth and the universe. Cool. I'm just like, I got a flash of the Star Tarot card in my head about the and Temperance too, the mixing of the waters. Yeah. Okay. Perhaps the most well-known depiction that connects the circle with the serpent is the Ouroboros. Ouroboros. The snake, or sometimes dragon, biting its own tail, was depicted in a circle or a figure of 8 shape, both of which stand for eternity. Yeah. Trace, hello, my girl. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment too, Jenny. I made this hat this past year. Both of which stand for eternity. The symbol was important to many ancient cultures and later to the alchemists and Gnostics. Like the circle, it symbolized wholeness, but also the endless cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Ouroboros, Ouroboros. There is also a strong correlation between the serpent, the circle, and the tree. For example, in the Norse tree of life, Yggdrasil, the world of humans is encircled by a sea serpent, and its roots are gnawed by another serpent which tries to destroy it. Similarly, in ancient Greek mythology, a serpent called Ladon, Ladon, guarded the golden apples of immortality in the branches of a sacred tree. The tree was located in the garden of Hesperides. Oh, Hesperides, mother of pearls. Why am I always struggling when I encounter that word? Hesperides. The garden of Hesperides, which stood at the edge of the Okeanos, the river ocean that encircled the world. Ooh. I'm starting that over just because I want to have a little bit more solid comprehension in my own brain. Similarly, in ancient Greek mythology, the serpent called Ladon guarded the golden apples of immortality in the branches of the sacred tree. The tree was located in the garden of Hesperides, which stood at the edge of Okeanos, the river ocean that encircled the world. Hesperides. The garden of Hesperides, which stood at the edge of Okeanos, Okeanos, the river ocean that encircled the world. This myth is reminiscent of the biblical story of the Garden of Eden and the serpent hiding in the tree of knowledge. A good example of the serpent, circle, and tree connection can be found in the caduceus symbol. The two snakes coiled around a winged rod with a ball at the top. But more on that in the Tree of Life chapter. The serpent of the earth and universal cycles is, however, not to be confused with the symbol of the devious demonic beings that were usually depicted as worms and have an eerie feel to them. So I'm going to zoom this in real quick to show you these symbols, because we're going to have lots of symbols pictures in here. Oh, I almost left the studio. Son of a gun. Let's not do that, eh? Okay, so we've got an Ouroboros and a caduceus right here. Okay, well, let's start with that one since that's where I am. And then over here, let me show you the pictures on the other page too, up close. The serpent and the shell. See, I just had to move in like the exact opposite direction that I felt like I should move in. And then let's see here, this next page, there's some pictures here. Goddess with two serpents inspired by a 5th century Swedish relief. That's the top one. And then Yggdrasil by Ivana Axman. Oh, I think that's the author's mom. That's beautiful. Ooh, 5th century Swedish relief. That is awesome. Oh, wow. And the top there, we've got what are those things called? Oh, no. That's the wrong one. Focus down. Oh, son of a gun. There's still another one over here on this page. The sun and the moon. Okay, I forgot what I was trying to find out. Remember too. Oh yeah, they look like runes. They look like runes. Oh, and there's like a piece of a snake swirls. That is cool. Okay, the sun and moon. In this symbol, the emphasis is put on the center as if encouraging us to look within our own inner solar system. The sun symbol represents universal powers and their interconnectedness with our divine potential. To astrologists, alchemists, and magicians, the sun is the epitome of life and vitality and is the main indicator of individual personality. It empowers us, but also warns us against misusing this power. Circle symbolism also applies to the moon and its cycles. It's often depicted in a threefold pattern, the waxing, full, and waning moons. This is, for example, the case of the Celtic triple goddess symbol. Ooh, I got that on my... that right here. Okay, here's some more pictures on this one. Moon pictures. And then this one says various, oh, okay. So yeah, that's the triple goddess picture. And then we've got various symbols, sun symbols inspired by various ancient arts. There's the phases of the moon. Well, one picture. It's also a Celtic, Druidic. All right. In most cultures, the moon was associated with the goddess or the feminine archetype, and the sun with the god or the masculine archetype. This could have something to do with patriarchal manipulation, as the sun was seen as more powerful and the moon only reflected its glory. A curious exception is in Norse mythology, where Mani is the male moon deity and Sol, or Suna, the female sun deity. Nevertheless, the moon symbols stand for intuition, dreams, visions, basically connection to a personal and collective unconsciousness. If we turn the crescent symbol into a horizontal position, we get a chalice or a grail. That is a similar meaning to the moon. It has a similar meaning to the moon. So that was that other picture I just showed you. It also represents the openness of our minds to receiving divine guidance. One could metaphorically compare the human and divine mind to the sun and the moon, because as the moon reflects the sun's light, so our minds mirror the divine wisdom. Maybe that's what the moon's doing. In some ancient cultures, the horizontal crescent has been drawn on foreheads as a symbol of enlightenment. In others, it was depicted below the feet. In Celtic legends and mythology, heroes are often seen having their chalices filled with the sacred knowledge of their ancestors or spirit guides. Both the crescent and chalice epitomize the cradle of the circle and therefore are symbolic for the curious soul ready to receive spiritual guidance. All right, we've got the yin and yang. And then the next one over here is the Mandola. Cool. Yin and yang. Where are we at? Classic. Ooh, some really intricate, awesome knot work. So the yin and yang. This widely used ancient Chinese symbol shows us the duality of the circle and inherent opposites, which further develop into other various figures. It's the symbol of balance between the forces of light and dark, left and right, active and passive energies, or in alchemical terminology, the magnum opus. If these energies are balanced, we become complete and harmonized beings who live in purpose and bliss. On the other hand, if they remain in opposition, we tend to move from corner to corner, unable to find the natural flow of life. Nevertheless, the overall philosophy behind the yin and yang is that light and darkness are important parts of the whole. This idea is encapsulated in the seed of light in the dark yin and in the seed of darkness in the light yin. I love that. The yin and yang hides the never-ending symbol of the figure of 8, which relates back to the serpent symbolism. Mandola. Visa. What it represents. A mandorla arises from two circles of the same circumference that are interlocked at their central points. It's a mystical symbol which has been called the sacred gate or the womb of the universe because it literally gives birth to other geometric shapes. Want to know how? Just grab a compass and try to construct any geometric shape, such as a triangle, square, or hexagon, from the mandorla. All right, this is a really awesome picture. And then there's another picture over here, which shows us the diamond shape. Okay. Oh, man, that is awesome. Two hands, it makes it easier. Oh, almost. Doop-a-doo. Okay. Mandorla means almond in Italian. And since the almond was the first fruit tree to flower in the Mediterranean, its symbolism has been associated with new beginnings. Quick thing about almonds. I guess I watched a documentary about almonds, I don't know, a couple years ago or something. And the people who are in the almond business don't pronounce the L. You just say almonds, almonds. Just so you know, everyone. All right. The mandorla's greatest power lies in the harmony of the basic dual principles. Just as the circle holds the seed of duality, so the mandorla holds the seed of trinity and quaternity. Quaternity. I don't know what that trinity, quaternity. So 3, 4. That's because in the mandorla, we sense two triangles or a diamond shape. Also, speaking of diamond shape, the magic diamond, okay, when we go like, oh, it's a lot harder to do that with nails now. If you're stoking a fire and you make this tiny little diamond shape, ooh, you can see it better through my hat or down here maybe, into the fire, into the coals, it helps direct your airflow. It's awesome. Good little tip. The magic diamond. All right. The mandorla represents the balance union of opposing energies, such as dark and light, hot and cold, wet and dry, and so on. Meditating upon the mandorla encourages an inner alchemical process of harmonizing the left and right sides of our brains, or the shadow and light aspects of our souls. The mandorla is a mysterious gateway between the inner and outer worlds, or the threshold between manifested and unmanifested reality. Even as we are born into this world, we pass through a mandorla-like gate, the vulva. That's why the mandorla has been associated with the goddess archetype, but that's just one aspect of the whole. In magic, the symbol of the mandorla stands for the unity of heaven and earth, body and spirit, but also the coalescence, the coalescence of the masculine and feminine, and therefore the god and the goddess. The mandorla is also the base of the so-called seed of life or flower of life patterns, from which countless magical symbols are derived. Moreover, the mandorla was sometimes depicted as a diamond, which occurs in the art of many ancient cultures or in the form of the Germanic and Nordic rune ingwas. Interestingly, rune ingas, which is different than ingwas, I-N-G-W-A-Z, interestingly, rune ingas, I-N-G-A-Z, has a similar symbolism to mandorla. It's used in magic for permeating other realms and releasing emotions or energies. Thanks, Trace. I love my nails so much. Holy majoli. Oh, they don't even do it justice. They're so three-dimensional. How and when to work with it. The mandorla's power manifests in our lives when we are standing on an important threshold, when we may change our points of view, feelings, even life mission. In any case, it's an encouragement to have an open mind mind, and remain curious about the world. I like it. If you keep seeing this symbol or its variations, it may mean that you have been invited to pass through the sacred gate to the wisdom of the universe. It may be the right time to establish a better communication with your inner worlds. You may feel inspired to focus on your inherent psychic powers and learn to improve them. The symbol inspires us to open our mind's eye and discover its magnificent potential. The Mandola also signifies the need to balance extremes. For example, it may warn you about not overworking yourself, or it could hearten you when you procrastinate. Hearten you. Let me try that sentence again. For example, it may warn you about not overworking yourself, or it could hearten you when you procrastinate. It encourages you to harmonize your mind's patterns, to realize that sense is equally as important as sensibility. It's best to communicate with the Mandola by drawing it, visualizing it, or meditating on it. Connecting and opening your palms so that they create the Mandola shape is very useful as well, especially if you do so with the intention of uniting your inner dualities and opening up to new possibilities and knowledge. Dude, I'm going to do this tonight. I'm going to do this tonight. You may also cool with your legs. You may also do a Mandola pose with your legs while lying down and relaxing. So let me show you these pictures. So yeah, there's one over here that I didn't show you. This is the rune Ingwas. And the other one is those other shapes. So it's just a diamond, right? And then on this other page, we've got ooh. Okay, I'll come right back to this. We've got a lot of pictures on the next page. It is a book of symbolism, right? So, I mean, and sacred geometry. So that makes sense that there's lots of symbols. Okay. The horizontal depiction of the Mandola is connected to the idea of the third eye. And so the best way to connect with it is to be in tune with your intuition and inner guidance. Then the Mandola may open the gate between your conscious and subconscious mind and guide you to the realms of endless possibilities. When you keep seeing the Mandola shape or feel pulled towards it, you may be receiving a message about setting out on a new path or starting a new adventure. Cool. All right, derived symbols. We've got the eye. We've got a bunch of different pictures of the eye here. The Hamsa and the Eye of Horus, too. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so these are all stacking. We've got the circle. Now we've got the Mandola, which creates another circle and an eye. Ooh, pictures. Okay. This one first. The eye. Then the Eye of Horus, which also looks like the inside of our brains. And then we've got the Hamsa hand here. Evil eye protection. Yeah. I just got a pair of earrings like that. One for one. All right. Let's get a sip and continue forth. You know what, too? I'm going to get some chapstick on. Oh, that's right. Chapstick digging with nails. I forgot. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, I'll use the back of my nail. I don't want to gouge it. Oh, man, my lips. Mother of pearls. They're quite dry. Okay. Oh, right. The eye has been mainly recognized as a symbol of spiritual awakening and enlightenment. It represents the so-called third eye, which allows us to look beyond the veil of this reality, Physically, it's connected with the pineal gland, a small endocrine gland at the center of our brains, which produces melatonin and causes us to fall asleep. Interestingly, the interior of the pineal gland has cells which are identical to the rods and cones in the retina of the eye. It really is the inner eye, one that opens up when we journey within. Interestingly, in Aramaic, the word luz means almond, and in Portuguese and Spanish, this word stands for light. Yeah, because that's how I know it. Almond. The eye symbol appears in many ancient cultures. Perhaps the most well-known one is the Egyptian Eye of Horus. Then there is the Hamsa, the talisman of protection against the evil eye that has been widely used in the Middle East and North Africa. Hindus and Buddhists believe that the third eye is located slightly above the middle of the eyebrows, in line with the pineal gland. Furthermore, in the Bible, Ezekiel's version describes the eye-covered wheels of the throne of God. A curious eye symbolism can also be observed in Norse mythology. Odin legendarily sacrificed one of his eyes in the Well of Wisdom, and his two ravens from then on embodied the two physical eyes roaming the world. It's quite possible that the eye Odin sacrificed to the sacred well was not one of his physical eyes, but his third eye. What supports this idea is the fact that the pineal gland is hollow and has liquid inside it. Therefore, the third eye literally gazes into the water. Due to the pineal gland's resemblance to the pine cone symbolism has been connected with the third eye as well. This version can be seen in many ancient arts. For example, in Buddhist and Hindi cultures, we find pine cones as single standing statues in the shape of temples or on top of Buddha's head. The art of the ancient Mesopotamias depicted various figures holding pine cones in their hands or on top of a staff. There is also the Egyptian staff of Osiris, which resembles the caduceus, but instead of a sphere, has a pine cone on top. Staffs with a pine cone on top were also depicted in the hands of divinities such as Dionysus and Bacchus. These staffs probably symbolize the axis mundi, or the tree of life. So we've got two pictures here. Odin by Ivana Axman, another beautiful depiction here. And then we've got Thyrsis, a picture of Thyrsis. On the next page, I'm going to show you these ones. The top one is a Mesopotamian gods holding pine cones by the tree of life, inspired by ancient Mesopotamian art. And then this other one is the Egyptian staff of Osiris, inspired by ancient Egyptian art. And then I'll show you a picture of the primordial egg, snake wrapped around an egg. Okay. Hey, welcome in, Juice. Awesome, awesome. So, focus. This is that picture of Odin. Awesome-o. And then we go into that. Zoop-a-doop-a-doop. Where you at? Oh no, it's okay, I got it. So, the primordial egg. In many mythological stories from around the world, the egg was a symbol of the primordial world. Ancient Indian Sanskrit scriptures describe the universe as Brahmanda, the egg-shaped unity. Likewise, in ancient Greek tradition, it was the cosmic egg from which the primordial hermaphrodite hatched and created the other gods. The egg was often depicted with a serpent coiled around it, which represents earthly power. This connects back to the Ouroboros, or the world serpent, in the Norse tree of life. In fact, the Norse tree of life was the result of the primordial cosmic egg as well. The egg comes from the seed, or the unclear void, from which everything came into existence. The cosmic egg was called Hagalaz and was also the central Norse rune and the blueprint of all the other runes. In Chinese mythology, the origins of the world came from a sacred egg as well. Legends say that a god named Pengu came into existence in the original egg and broke it into two halves to create the sky and the earth. Similarly, the Egyptian sun god Ra and the self-born Hindi god Brahma also arose from a sacred egg. Pengu. Oh, that was a cartoon, right? Pengu, the penguin. The symbolism of the egg is also apparent in the last trump of the tarot's major arcana. Yeah, dude. Called The World. It depicts a woman dancing in an egg-like and sometimes a mandorla-like garland. And like the zodiacal sign Pisces, this card represents both the ending and beginning of a cycle. So then we've got a picture of the world inspired by Rider-Waite's tarot. And then over here, we've got the Vesica Pisces, which is that classic ancient fish symbol, IXOIE. Merbadurbadoo. Okay. I could show you that card too. Why does it gotta be finicky? All right, there we go. Okay, Vesica Pisces. Pisces. Let's find out how to say it. Vesica Pisces. It's probably Pisces, right? Like Pisces for fish. This one is the one where I learned pronunciations. Okay. Vesica Pisces. Vesica Pisces.
Pisces. Vesica Pisces.
Vesica Pisces. Cool. It's Pisces. All right. Piss. Vesica Pisces.
Vesica Pisces.
Okay. YouTubes. In Latin, Vesica Pisces literally means fish bladder. Excuse me. Woo, yeah. This title has been used alongside the Mandola, as the Vesica Pisces is its horizontal version. Oh, right. That makes perfect sense. The Vesica Pisces and the Mandola have been seen as symbols of spiritual purity and resurrection. No wonder, right? In Christian churches, they often surrounded the figures of Virgin Mary and Jesus Christ, the fisher of men. They also became the basic shapes for Gothic architecture and the typical pointed arch. The fish symbol also signifies the 12th astrological sign of the Pisces, which is located at the end or at the beginning of the zodiacal wheel, depending on how you perceive this dual sign. Nevertheless, it is a threshold between phases or cycles. So we've got the triangle here. And I'll show you over here, Norns spinning the destiny. Okay. The triangle, what it represents. As the mandorla is created from the circle, the triangle arises from the mandorla. Badass. All right. Triangles. Ooh. And then over here, this picture. I like your work, Ivana Axman. Okay. There we go. Hey, welcome, Concord. Awesome that you're here. So the triangle. The triangle is the base for other geometric figures such as the square, rectangle, pentagon, hexagon, platonic solids, and countless more. The Trinity aspect also repeats in the more complicated magical symbols. The energy of the triangle focuses on the connecting third point between two opposing ones. The harmony of these 3 points is the key to understanding the basis of all creation. We can look at it as the center between the above and the below, the zero between the endless pulses and pluses and minuses, or the balance between the 2 scales of justice. The triangle thereby brings forward the importance of harmony. It could be compared to the transitional seasons of autumn and spring between the extremes of winter and summer, or the tree trunk between the branching upwards and downwards. Furthermore, the triangle represents time, past, present, and future. In the Norse tree of life, there are 3 basic spheres which branch into 9 smaller ones. The central sphere is Midgard, the land of humans. Our 3-dimensional reality is therefore the center of the tree of life, the middle between the underworld and heaven. Another connection between the Trinity element of the tree of life can be found in the 3 archetypal females called Norns. These 3 giantesses legendarily spin the destiny of the tree of life's past, present, and future. All right, so they're also the fates then. Similarly, the sacred tree in Greek mythology was nurtured by 3 daughters of the evening, the nymphs called Hesperides. These 3 archetypal females are also known in Hinduism. Primal matter, or Mother Earth, has 3 innate qualities called gunas, which were believed to balance the basis of observed reality. In Roman mythology, this trinity of females is reflected in the Moirai, the 3 sisters who spin the world's destiny. One spins the thread of life from her distaff onto the spindle. One measures the thread with her rod, and the third cuts the thread when she chooses death. Equivalents of the Moirai more. So it's like, isn't that, it's like a, I think like, it means death, right? Moirai. 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 I'm not sure. Equivalents of the Moirai are the Roman Parke and the Slavic Sudis or Sudiki. Similar is the legend of the 3 sisters of the Native American tribes, Sun Woman, Corn Woman, and Thought Woman, who, as the original creators, dream and weave the world into existence. There are also 3 primal mothers in the Kabbalistic tree of life. One represents merit, one liability, and the third the balance between them. Symbolically, the triangle is usually associated with balance between oppositions, but it also stands for intellect, wisdom, knowledge, and the importance of a clear focus. Its magical powers help us remain focused on our intent and offer colorful rather than black and white thinking. Its harmonious shape attracts open-mindedness and curiosity. How and when to work with it. When you keep seeing triangle symbols on your current path, or you feel attracted to them, it means that their energy is communicating with your natural wisdom. They encourage you to establish harmony in your life, perhaps a balance between work and leisure, physical and mental activities, or haste and patience. Triangle energy also provides us with a better focus on our goals, guides us to greater achievements, and assists with education, spiritual growth, and understanding the true meaning of our lives. A good way to connect with the energy of the triangle is to draw it, visualize it, or wear it as a talisman. You can also meditate with the triangle mudra. Position your palms and fingers in a triangle shape and focus on its power as long as it feels comfortable. All right, and so there's a picture of hands doing that, and I shall relay it. Hey Tanya, welcome in. Awesome. And then on this next page here, which we're getting into, we've got up pointing and down pointing triangles. Ooh. Oh, it looks like a Star of David on the next page. Yeah, combined. Ooh. Triquetra. These are the next pages that we're going to be reading about. I think my sister has that tattooed on her arm. Son of a gun, right? Okay. All right. So it says, however, the best way to learn more about triangle energy is to manifest it in our everyday lives, remembering to live in harmony with everything around us, trying to balance ourselves, and at the same time, remaining focused on our life purpose. These are the three main ingredients that open us to its true meaning. So, derived symbols from the triangle, the up pointing and down pointing triangles. The up pointing triangle represents will, concentration, and mental work. This symbol can be of wonderful help when we are studying or creating, as it gives us the necessary zest and drive. This active version of the triangle also relates to the Norse rune Tawaz, which helps us become fearless warriors in our life's mission. It also means fire. I mean, like just the symbol, right? And then the down pointing one is water, feminine. Okay, the down pointing triangle has been connected with emotions, sensibilities, and intuition. It encourages us to pay attention to our feelings, insights, or dreams. This passive version of the triangle could be compared to the symbolism of a chalice or grail, which embodies love, compassion, wisdom, and the natural flow of creativity. And I mean, it's also one of the main suits of the tarot. So, yeah. In alchemy and astrology, the up pointing triangle refers to the fire element and the down pointing one to the water element. Their unity embodies the sacred union of the god and goddess, or the alchemical heroes Gamos. Similarly, in India, the up pointing triangle is associated with the god Shiva and the down pointing triangle with the goddess Shakti. Their unity, found in the six-pointed star or hexagram, stands for the Shaktona, the coalescence of opposites that unite in the heart chakra. Triquetra. This symbol of three identical mandolas knotted together into a triangle-like figure is of Celtic origin and was later adopted by Christianity. Like the triangle, it represents the triple principles of life, death, and rebirth, darkness, light, and shadow, and the god, goddess, and child. In pagan music, it's also used as a symbol of eternal love. What separates the triquetra from the triangle is the knotting factor. Knots usually symbolize eternity or the mystery of time. In ancient Egypt, the power to knot something or someone in time and space was the privilege of the gods, thereby alluding to the sacred web of the world, or, in other words, the matrix. The triquetra symbol can be created from a circle or torus and is similar to the intricate Gordian knot. Just like the many other knot symbols, this one is also connected to the idea of binding and unbinding, ergo solving problems and issues, as well as tying up loose ends. The triskel. So let me The Triskel. Triskel. Like the Triquetra, the Triskel is of Celtic origin and stands for the triple principle of creation. However, due to its spiraling energy, it has been mainly linked with the fertile powers of nature. It also embodies the triple goddess, maiden, woman, and crone, as well as the waning, full, and waxing moon phases, or the divine realms of the earth, sea, and sky. Its spiraling energy also resembles the cycles of the sun and its life-giving light. And then on this page, we've got the Trident. Shiva's Trident, inspired by ancient Indian art. The next page, we've got a lot of pictures too. I'm going to show you those while I'm in this focus mode. Poseidon's Trident. Mesopotamian double trident. And that looks like a bell trident for summoning spirits. Okay, focus. So the trident, this mystical tool used by gods such as Poseidon, Neptune, Ager, and Shiva, mainly symbolize the power of the ancient deities. Its connection to the ocean also alludes to the universe, because the cosmos was often called the cosmic ocean or the primordial waters. The trident was sometimes depicted as double a club, with one trident pointing above and one below. Say what? Oh, okay, I see. So it's like you can hold it in the center and there's a trident up here and a trident down here. Okay. Okay, sometimes depicted as double a club, with one trident pointing above and one below. This was especially the case in Mesopotamian art. The double trident actually resembles the ancient depictions of the Tree of Life, which only enhances its legendary power. The trident signifies the highest authority in Taoist belief, where a bell with a trident atop is used in rituals for summoning spirits. There is also a striking similarity between the trident and the Norse rune of divine protection and shielding. Algiz. Is that what it's called? There's also a striking similarity between the trident and the Norse rune of divine protection and shielding, Algiz. 8 of these runes were also depicted in the bind rune. That's a big word. Aegis Jalmer. In the bind rune, Aegis Jalmer, that represented the god Ager. Oh, so Ager. Aegis. Ager? More on that in the next chapter. What the trident's real purpose was remains a mystery, but it seems to have been some kind of weapon. Judging from Norse and Taoist symbolism, it could have been used to repel evil. Its association with the water element could also represent the cleansing of energies and emotions. The Enneagram. Okay, was this 7-pointed? 9-pointed star. 9-pointed star. Here we go. The 9-pointed star. And then we've got the Valknut. Is it in there? I can't see. There we go. So the Enneagram. Did I skip stuff? Nope. This 9-pointed star, the Enneagram, in geometric terminology, depicts a star made of 3 interlocked equilateral triangles. This symbol emphasizes the power of Trinity literally 3 times and has thereby 3 times more power than the triangle symbol itself. Am I saying it right? Let's find out. Let's find out how to say this word. Enneagram.
Enneagram.
Enneagram. Cool. Enneagram.
Enneagram.
Enneagram. Bam. The Enneagram helps us reach our goals and guides us to the right path or mission. It's a crucial symbol to work with when we wish to understand our life purpose or need to be supported in accomplishing it. The best way to use it is to meditate on it or simply invite its triple energy into our lives by being attentive to our inner guidance, active in accomplishing our bliss, and open to changes and ceaseless new possibilities and points of views. The numerical connection strengthens the magic of this symbol even more. 9 is the final number of the decimal counting system and so stands for fulfillment and completion. Curiously, whatever number we multiply by 9, the digits of the results are repeatedly added into one final number. The sum is always 9. 9 times 2 equals 18, and 8 plus 1 equals 9. 3 times 9 equals 27, and 2 plus 7 equals 9. 6 times 9 equals 54, and 5 plus 4 equals 9. The Enneagram is similar to the Valknut. The Valknut is a Norse symbol, which literally means death knot, but epitomizes the 9 interlocking realms in the 3 basic spheres of the tree of life: the trunk, roots, and crown. Like the tree of life symbol itself, the Valknut is an attribute of the god Odin. Sri Yantra, or Holy Yantra. Cool, let's show it. And then we've got the, how do I say it? Tetractas? Tetractas. Sriyanya. Okay, we are zooming in. Tetractas. So, the Holy Yantra. This is the most crucial and most venerated Indian yantra. A yantra is a geometrical diagram used during meditations and translates as to receive. Oh, right. Okay, no, it's all good. It's similar to some of the pillows I have. Like the Enneagram, the Sri Yantra also consists of 9 interlocking triangles. 4 up-pointing ones that represent the masculine principle of the god Shiva, and 5 down-pointing ones that represent the female principle of the goddess Shakti. Their merging stands for the unity of cosmic consciousness. The Sri Yantra helps us clear and calm our minds so that we may become more perceptive to our spiritual guidance. Looking at them or keeping them in the mind's eye is a form of meditation. The Sri Yantra is known to be especially powerful because it's said to awaken us to unexpected insight and wisdom. The Tetractas was an important symbol in the Pythagorean school. Similar to the Sri Yantra, the symbol also depicts 9 triangles, but in this symbol, they form one large unifying triangle. The triangles are interconnected with highlighted dots, which exude the power of oneness. Looking more closely, the symbol brings forth a hexagon surrounded by 3 triangles. The numbers 3, 9, the numbers 3 and 9 take us back to the tree of life concept with the 3 main spheres and the 9 worlds within them. The Tetractas may also remind us of the 3 principles of time, past, present, and future. Of time, past, present, and future, or the 3 mothers who spin the wheels of destiny in the roots of our existence. The above-mentioned philosophy reflects in an ancient Greek prayer for the Tetractas, which described it as the divine number, the roots and the spring of creation's flow. It also regards it the mother of all, the firstborn and all-embracing keyholder. Some mystical teachers say that the Tetractas was also associated with the Kabbalistic tree of life. This is very possible, mainly because of the hidden hexagonal shape that resembles the Star of David. And now we come to square and cross. Wow, we're really just flying through this. I might actually be able to do this one in 2 readings. Sweet! Oh, I love you, Tanya. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, welcome, Anita. So the square and cross, and then we've got another picture over here I'll show ya. Okay. What they represent. The square can be constructed. Let's try again. Oh gosh, I'm all fuzzy. Let's fix it, eh? Why you gotta be so finicky? Okay. Square and cross. What they represent. The square can be constructed with 2 overlapping circles and a mandola. During the square construction, one can also observe the triangle and, most importantly, the cross. The fact that the cross and square are 2 versions of the same shape explains why they have been provided with similar symbolism throughout our history. In magic and alchemy, squares and crosses have been associated with the earth element. The 2 intersected lines mainly symbolize the time and space of our planet. That's why the cross was sometimes used as a symbol of the axis mundi, the world tree or the tree of life. It's no coincidence that the tree of life is reflected in most magical symbols. And while the circle is the source, the tree of life is the result. This may explain why the square and cross symbols are often depicted encircled. The square is a perfectly symmetrical symbol with a grounding energy. It represents a condensed matter, therefore, the manifested world. It has also been regarded as a symbol of safety and protection. Its 4 points can ward off unwelcome energies and establish a powerful shield. Furthermore, the square and cross are linked with the 4 basic elements, of which the central or crossing point symbolizes the mysterious 5th element. The square slash cross also stands for the 4 worldly directions, the 4 seasons, or the 4 stages of the day: dawn, noon, dusk, and night. In pagan traditions, these 4 stages of the day are considered the most magical and empowering. How and when to work with them. If squares, crosses, or their derived symbols keep crossing your path, crossing, just me, so to speak. Oh, no, not just me. Thanks, Iva. It can mean the following things. You are encouraged to ground yourself and become more conscious of the present moment as well as your environment, lifestyle, feelings, and desires. When the quaternity of the body, mind, emotions, and spirit are in balance, they strengthen you as a whole. Since one of the main attributes of the square and cross is manifestation, you are also called to let's try again. One of the main attributes of the square and cross is manifestation. Maybe you are also called to improve your own manifesting skills. Its energy may inspire you to give up procrastination and finally pursue your dreams and goals. Perhaps it's the right time to awaken your own divine alchemist and start changing your life for the better. The power that lies behind the square and cross guides you to experience rather than survive life. The manifestation quality of the square and cross comes with a warning, though. It advises you create only what you believe is right. Because when it comes to manifesting, there is a what comes around goes around law to be aware of. When you are not certain about the purity of your intention, the simplest aid is to accompany every prayer or ritual with the following words: May it happen as if it is to benefit. May it happen if it is to the benefit of all involved. May it happen if it is to the benefit of all involved. I love that. Another interpretation of seeing the square and cross shapes may be that you are being guided to build a protective shield around you. Someone or something could be affecting you negatively, or you are simply too sensitive to fight off harmful influences from your environment. In that case, the cross or the bind runic shield, Agish Jalmer, for more information, see the Derived Symbols, have proven to be the most beneficial to me. There are easy ways to invite the grounding and shielding energy of the square and cross into our lives. One of them is to construct both symbols using different natural objects such as stone, branches, or shells, and contemplate on their center. It's better to seal such a meditative spot with a circle drawn around it to ensure an even stronger protection. This is because while the square and the cross symbols ward off negativity, the circle creates a safe, closed space. I love this. You can also literally stand in the square or cross power if you stand with your legs together, spread your arms apart, and remain in the pose for as long as it feels comfortable. This is a Tau cross meditation, as your body resembles that old symbol, which is derived from the ancient Egyptian Ankh. See the Derived Symbols. Yeah, and we were just who was somebody? Oh, Christopher Columbus, maybe. That was like a symbol classically. I'm not certain if that's what I'm remembering right. Okay. The Tau symbol, the T symbol. Was it Ptolemy? However, as during all magical activities, there should be an intention behind the cross pose. It's good to first decide why we wish to communicate with the square and cross energy. Is it to gain more strength? Is it to feel grounded? Or do we seek to be shielded from some harmful energy? In the latter case, it would be most beneficent to accompany the pose with a prayer to your spirit guides. Another way to use the instant protective power of the square and cross is to make fists with your hands and cross your arms so that the fists touch your shoulders, like this one. I know it's all kinds of out of focus, but then make a decision to block the energy that is trying to permeate your space. This works wonders if you have a psychic attack sent to you or when you find yourself in haunted areas. In magic, the square and cross symbols are often used to connect with the powers of the basic elements. A square or cross is often inscribed into a circle or made of objects that represent the elements. The magician becomes the central fifth element, or in other words, the creator of the elemental magic. So, derived symbols, the lattice, and then we also have the cross encircle. Then we've got the 8 Celtic festivals, and we've got Ogham, the Ankh, the Tau, the X, the Tree of Life, the Tibetan Cross, the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys and lads and all these pictures, all of them right now, so I can just continue reading, and then I might just flash them up so we can see. But at least then there'll be a nice, crisp photo for you to see. So the lattice. Then we've got the Cross Encircle. And then there's another one up here. Native American medicine wheel. The Celtic festival representations. The Ogham characters. We've got the Ankh, or the key of life. Ankh. The Tao. Phoenician, Greek, Hebrew. The tree of life. Here we go. The Tibetan cross. Vadra. Then what do we got over here? It is a depiction of the Wheel of Fortune, inspired by medieval tarot. I don't have that deck yet. Okay, that's where I'll stop sharing pictures in the Zoom, and then we'll read all about that. Okay, there we go. So the lattice. Crosses and squares are also the best shapes for tilting. We can, no, that's not what it says. For tiling. Oops. We can tile into eternity using these geometric figures, which tells us a lot about their grounding and manifesting power. These shapes help us define space and build in it. Therefore, lattice or web symbols often represent our reality and its matrix, the World Wide Web. Tiling can also be comprised or compared to weaving and knitting because those are based on the principle of crossing as well. Plated lattice symbols were integral to many ancient arts and crafts, especially those of the Celtic, Slavic, Germanic, Nordic, and Native American tribes. The shapes varied from simple crossing to zigzag and diamond patterns. The lattice also goes hand in hand with knot symbolism, as it too epitomizes the interconnectedness of all life. The Cross Encircle. The connection between these two basic geometric figures dates all the way back to prehistoric times. Various circles with crosses have been found in cave paintings all around the world. They most probably illustrated yearly or daily cycles and the unity of heaven and earth. The horizontal line stood for the earth and the vertical line of the sky. Together, they coalesce in the eternity of the circle. They could have also illustrated the time, horizontal line, and space, vertical line, in our world, the circle. The clear unity of the cross and circle can be seen in the Native American medicine wheel. It is apparent from its title it was used for healing, but also as a basic concept of life itself. It represented the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual parts of the soul, as well as the four directions, the four basic elements, and the four stages of life. The center embodied the individual or the self, and the two crossing lines, the interlocked powers of Mother Earth and Father Sky, in other words, the tree of life. This symbol is the perfect epitome of the Native American wisdom Mitaque Oyasin, which means we are all related. In old Celtic traditions, cross and circle shapes unite in the wheel of life, sun wheel, or the wheel of the year, which stood for the yearly cycles and worldly directions. The cross within the circle was sometimes doubled, thus seeing an 8-pointed star that represented the 8 Celtic festivals: Samhain, Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Litha, I can't read it. And I can't remember how to say it. Lognasa. Mabon. Apologize for my mispronunciations, y'alls. I don't really say these things out loud. I say them in my head a lot. A good example of cross and circle unity can be seen in the Celtic cross of the early medieval period in Britain and Ireland. The cross has a circle around its crooks and derives from the above-mentioned pagan wheel symbols. It most probably also represents the tree of life, and it was often found inscribed with Ogham, the Celtic alphabet based around the wisdom of trees. The Ogham itself follows a crossing pattern, as each letter is made of combining two or more straight lines. Is it Ogham? Another profound symbol, which is linked to the cross and circle, is the Egyptian Ankh, sometimes called the key of life or key to life. It's also rife in tarot symbolism. The Ankh shows a loop or a circle on top of a T-shaped cross. The first depictions date all the way back to the early dynastic period in Egypt. Therefore, it may be more than 5,000 years old. Generally, the loop or the circle stood for the divine realms or the spirit, and the T-cross for the earthly realms in time and space. In other words, the axis mundi, or the tree of life. Metaphorically, the Ankh embodied a mysterious key which opened the gates between the divine and earthly worlds. The Ankh was often depicted in the hands of deities and was therefore a sign of power. It was also associated with knot symbolism and represented the power of the deities to knot someone or something in a certain time and space. The later variation of the Ankh, the Tau cross, encrypted ancient Egyptian secrets and became the cross of initiates and mystics. Also, there's a bunch of T-shaped, what are they? They're like pillars. Okay, wait. Son of a gun. Where are my words, Allie B? And can I think of the name of the place? There are T-shaped statues at Sacsayhuaman. Is it Sacsayhuaman? I'm not positive, but yeah, we find these T-shaped sculptures and statues all throughout history and stuff. Regarding the Tau, there is an interesting connection with the Greek and Hebrew alphabets. The Greek letter Tau was a symbol of life and resurrection, although later a similar symbol was linked to crucifixion and death. The Hebrew letter Ta, on the other hand, means truth and is the 22nd and last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The Phoenician Ta resembled the Greek cross and rune Gebo, and probably derived from the Egyptian hieroglyph, which looks the same and means mark. So it's the X. The Christian cross is also a variation of the Ankh, but here the halo of Jesus Christ has replaced the circle. Another variation of the Tau is the mysterious Irminsul, or Great Pillar, which was widely used by Germanic and Saxon pagans and epitomized the tree of life. Another, though less obvious, example of the cross and circle unity is the Tibetan Vadra, or Tibetan cross. In Sanskrit, Vajra means two words. That's different than this down here. This says Vadra, and this one says Varja. In Sanskrit, Varja means two words, diamond and thunderbolt. Cool. It was depicted as a single club or two crossing clubs with ribbed spherical heads. It was used as a weapon, but also a talisman for obtaining and keeping indestructible power. However, in some ways and meanings, it also resembles the previously mentioned trident. The circle and cross unity is also represented in the wheel used for spinning yarn, which often alluded to the three legendary mothers or sisters who spin the world's destiny. Its connection to destiny can be seen in the tarot's Wheel of Fortune card. All right, we've got 8 pointed stars here, the Star of Ishtar and Rub el-Hizb. Then we've got the center of the crossing. We've got the helm of Ager, the rune Algiz, and the Dharma wheel. Then we have the cuneiform sign An, used in Sumerian for the word Dingir, which means deity. Cool, Dingir. So let me focus in here and show you these pictures. So the 8-pointed star. It does look diamondy, right? From the top. Star of Ishtar. Then we've got Rub el-Hizb. Next, we're going to the center of the crossing. Helm of Ager. Rune Algiz. Dharma wheel, or the helm. And then lastly, the cuneiform, or cuneiform. I'm not certain. I've heard it said both ways. Dingir. Okay, back to the focus. And then let's get to where I was. If we double a cross or a square, we get an octagon or octagram and other derived variations of the 8-pointed stars. These symbols have been used by ancient civilizations all over the world and share similar symbolism. In ancient Babylonia and India, the 8-pointed star represented female deities. In Babylonia, it was an attribute of the goddess Ishtar, and in India, it was associated with the goddess Lakshmi. Perhaps because Lakshmi has 8 manifestations and presides over 8 sources of prosperity. So let's look at how to say that. Lakshmi. Okay. Oh, Lakshmi.
Lakshmi.
Cool. Okay. Okay, so in Babylonia, it was an attitude of the goddess Ishtar and an attribute of the goddess Ishtar, and in India, it was associated with the goddess Lakshmi, perhaps because Lakshmi has 8 manifestation and presides over 8 sources of prosperity. However, it's not only the female deities who were associated with the 8-pointed symbol. The number 8 is connected to Kronos and Saturn, both of whom are the ancient gods of time, destiny, and justice. This symbolism is also reflected in the 8th card in the tarot's major arcana called Justice. The symbolism of destiny and justice strengthens the manifestation attribute of the 8-pointed star, where the magician should take into account the law of karma. In ancient Islam, the double square symbol was called the Rub el-Hizb. It was depicted with a circle in the crux and was used in Arabic calligraphy to mark the chapter's end. It frequently appears in the Quran and mainly stands for the 8 gates of heaven. In Norse mythology, the 8-pointed star referred to the 8 legs of Odin's horse, Sleipnir, and the 8 realms of the Tree of Life, where the 9th, central realm, was the Midgard, the realm of men that existed in the center of the crossing. Squares and crosses have protective qualities, but their doubling has twice as much. A wonderful example of this mighty shielding power is the Viking bind rune, Aegistjalmur. So let's find out how we say that huge word. Aegistjalmur. Aegish. 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 Oh, look, there you are. Aegistjalmur.
Because in modern Icelandic, now those vowels have merged, you've got to kind of keep this consistent through the video, I'll use that modern Icelandic pronunciation because it's what most people have heard, and I'll say Ægisjalmur. So in the poem Fafnismál, after Sigurd has killed the dragon Fafnir, or well, after he's given the dragon its death blow, but before the dragon.
Come on.
Term for this helmet, which you're going to hear me pronounce a few different ways, is in the Poetic Edda. Now, in 2 poems, or in the text surrounding 2 poems in the Poetic Edda, we have mention of something called the helmet, Hjolmur in Old Norse,
Hjolmur.
Either the god Aegir, that would be Agus Hjolmur, or of the
Agus.
Frightener, that would be Ugis Hjolmur. But by the time that the Poetic Edda is written down, those 2 vowels have merged, so it can't be 100% precisely said which one. Or of the Frightener, that would be Ugis Hjolmur in Old Norse, of either the god Aegir, that would be Agus
Aegir,
or of the Frightener, that would be Ugis
Agus.
But by the time that the Poetic Edda is written down, those 2 vowels have merged, so it can't be 100% precisely said which one is the older form of the name. Personally, in the last few years, I've come to think that it is, in fact, originally Ugis Hjolmur, which would have a quite different spelling and pronunciation than you'd be used to hearing. Because in modern Icelandic, now those vowels have merged, you've got it as Ægisjalmur with some additional sound changes. To kind of keep this consistent through the video, I'll use that modern Icelandic pronunciation because it's what most people have heard. And I'll say,
okay, well.
So in the poem Fafnismál,
this is.
After Sigurd has killed the dragon, well, after he's given the dragon its death blow, but before the dragon died, the dragon says in stanza 16, and I'll read this with pronunciation, and then give you my translation.
Come on.
Ægishjálm barek aldason meðan menjum lok.
Wow, you sound so good, dude.
Ramari hugdum ollum vera fanka ek marga moru.
Wow. I
carried a helmet.
Okay, well, how to pronounce? Let's do that one instead.
Ægisjalmur.
Okay, that was much faster.
Ægisjalmur.
Okie dokie. Okay. If anybody stuck around for all of that. Ægisjalmur. I got to do it again. Ægisjalmur. Yeah, okay. All right, squares and crosses have protective qualities, but their doubling has twice as much. A wonderful example of this mighty shielding power is the Viking bind rune, Ægisjalmur, which translates as the helm of Aegir. The 8 spikes of this symbol are contemplated with 24 more horizontal crossing lines, which cross the spikes and stand for the entire runic alphabet. The spike edges show 8 algaes runes of divine protection. It's probably no coincidence that this rune is a variation of the trident, because god Aegir was, like Poseidon, a god of the seas. In ancient China, the 8-pointed star represented the 8 immortals, who can transfer their power to a mighty tool which can destroy evil and bestow life. And in Buddhism, we find a symbol of a wheel with 8 spikes called the Dharma Chakra, or Dharma wheel, which epitomizes the 8 paths that lead to nirvana: the path of the right action, right effort, right view, right intention, right speech, right livelihood, right concentration, and right mindfulness. The Dharma wheel. It's that guy right there. So, it may come as no surprise that, as in the case of the single cross, the double cross was often enclosed with the circle as well. To the Native American tribes, the 8-pointed star with a circle within and without it symbolizes divine guidance and hope. While the 2 circles represent the inner and outer worlds, the double cross embodies the 4 worldly directions and the 4 seasons. Similarly, the already mentioned Celtic 8-fold sun wheel represents the light and dark parts of the year, along with its 8 yearly festivals: Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Litha, Lugnasa, Mabon, and Samhain. Oh, I feel embarrassed. Sorry, everyone. In all these octuple symbols, it is clear that they mainly express the unity of earth and heaven, as well as the power of manifestation and protection. So yeah, let's just look them all up, right? How many more days of my life am I going to go like just feeling embarrassed by not knowing how to say it? Let's see if I can't search right in here. Okay, Yule. I feel solid on that one. Imbolc.
Imbolc.
Okay. I'm going to go for something else.
Imbolc.
Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Litha. Let's just double check Ostara.
Ostara.
Yeah, look at that. I'm wrong. Ostara. Okay, Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane. Litha. Yeah. All right. Lugnaza. What even? Well.
Pronouncing it Lunasa.
Lunasa.
Pretty straightforward once you know.
That's pretty.
Lunasa. Here are more videos on how to pronounce the names of more. We are looking at how to pronounce the name of this Gaelic festival, marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter.
Samhain. I'm such a doof.
Half of the year.
Samhain.
How do you go about pronouncing it? Samhain.
Okay, thank you, dude. Thank you very much.
The M in the...
Okay, so okay, Mabon. Okay, wait. So, shoot, I already forgot.
Pronouncing it Lunasa.
Lunasa.
Lu-
Lunasa. All right. Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Litha, Lunasa.
Lunasa. Pretty straightforward once you know. Lunasa.
Lunasa. Lunasa. Sawin. Sawin. Okay, my bone. Hopefully we'll find out. Luasa. Luasa.
Pronouncing it. Lunasa.
Lunasa. Wow. It's difficult to say for some reason. Lunasa. Lunasa. My bone.
Mabon.
Mabon. Okay. Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Litha, Lunasa, Mabon, and Samhain. Yay! In all these octuple symbols, it is clear that they mainly express the unity of earth and heaven, as well as the power of manifestation and protection. Okay, Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Litha, Lunasa, Mabon, and Samhain. Samhain. Cool. All right. Well, dang, you know what, y'alls? Okay. How big is the pentagram one? I think I might stop right here. Because I'm already halfway through and I'll probably finish in one more reading. Awesome. So dang, as ever, I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for all your likes and support and attention. And hopefully we're learning things together. Dude, I love you. And I will see you for the next installment. So have a wonderful Friday. Thank you very much. Oh, I better put a, there we go. Freaking mwah, and see you very soon. Thank you.